So after a long 60 years of oil exploration in Kenya, oil was finally discovered in 2012.
Energy that our country has made a major breakthrough in our oil exploration.
According to the internet, Kenya has an estimate of 2.85 billion barrels of oil. 1 barrel of oil is selling at an average price of $80 as of the time of making this video. Let's do some little math to see how rich the country can be. 2.85 billion with the current price of barrel, we get to allowed 228 billion USD. Converting to Kenyan shillings, that's allowed that 1.9 trillion Kenyan shillings. This amount is enough for Kenya to clear its debt and be left with extra for development. However, don't get very excited because this represents the total oil in place, but for now, only 500 million barrels of oil are accessible. So totaling to allowed 5.6 trillion Kenyan shillings if assuming the country sold all oil.
Many people we talk to here say they just want the basics: food, water, good schools, hospitals, roads, and jobs for their children.
It has taken 11 years and the dream has not yet been actualized. One might ask, why so? The project is being managed by several companies, including total agencies, but the biggest shareholder is Tullow Oil, a company based in UK. So I dove deep into this issue to understand what really happened, or rather, what's happening. In 2010, a UK-based company, Tullow Oil, entered Kenya, signing several agreements with the government. According to the Tullow's website, the agreement was that Tullow had to invest in all equipment needed to start drilling oil, including conducting research on wells, which wells to drill, and how to do it. So Tullow had to take over the process, and in return, it would gain 50% operated interest. Well, you might wonder, what is gained operated interest? Operating interest provides investors with percentage ownership of the drilling operation functioning as a race, providing the investor the right to participate in drilling activities and a right to the resource produced from that activity. Meaning, the company will take 50% profit made from the project and the government keep the rest for a duration of time. But in this case, the government gets to invest nothing in the project, so it's a win-win situation. Or is it? The first oil exploitation happened 7 years later after oil discovery, that is year 2019, where Kenya exported 250,000 barrels. There are several factors that have contributed to the delay experienced, which include land acquisition. The community living on those lands had to be compensated and be reallocated as well to somewhere else. Also, environmental impacts had to be considered and research conducted, which had to go through different bodies for the project to be approved. The company also needs access to water so as to pressurize the oil wells, which had to be granted by the county government. The local community needed to get their fair share of oil. This is what TURKANA Deputy Governor had to say on the matter, and I quote, "When you slaughter a goat, the owner of the goat is left with the leg. The community was left to take 10% of the income made from this project for their local needs." That this might include water, electricity, all those things. So, since 2019, Kenya has been producing oil each and every day. Tullow Oil was expecting to by 2022 they would be producing on average 100,000 barrels of oil per day. And you might ask then, how many barrels are they producing per day as of now? It is estimated they are producing 824 barrels in a day, and that puts the country at number 107 in the global oil producers. So this is a long way to go. All oil being produced as of now is being transported to Lamu via road, making it very slow and inefficient to make money out of the project. Keeping in mind the investors have to take the 50% operated interest, And to hasten the process of oil delivery to the port, the most probable way was to build a pipeline.
Production capacity will only be known after the test run. Eventually, the plan is to build a heated pipeline that can easily pump the thick tar-like oil along its way. It won't be easy or cheap.
You will be thinking about the resource levels that you want to put through the pipeline. You need to fine-tune your designs. You think about the counties through which the pipeline would run across, so you're talking about land access.
And that is when EPLA, that is Energy Regulation Board in Kenya, approved the building of the pipeline from Rokchar to Lamu that will deliver 100,000 barrels of oil per day. The project is underway but has not yet broken ground. A report on the environmental impact was submitted and is waiting approval by NEMA, Kenya Environmental Authority. So as of now, the oil being produced is still not enough to make noticeable impacts to the lives of the ordinary Kenyans. Also, it is worth noting that almost 50% of all oil in Kenya is not accessible for now due to technological limitation. So the total amount we had initially goes down from 2.85 billion barrels to just allowed 500 million barrels. At the moment, Kenya is producing 800 barrels of oil and the consumption rate is 114,000 barrels of oil per day, so it's barely making to 1% of the demands per day. When the project is free operation, then Kenya will be producing 89% of the oil needed in the country. Should Kenya expect price of fuel to go down when we go full mode production? The gas prices will definitely go down assuming all other factors are kept constant. But with the country's history of corruption, it's most likely the money won't trickle down to its ordinary citizens. Well, another question one might ask is why export oil yet can be used domestically since it is still not enough for the country needs. The grade of oil that Kenya is producing is considered light and sweet. It is very easy to refine, that is breaking it down into usable components like petrol, jet fuel, and diesel. But most of the crude oil Kenya has been importing from the UAE is heavy grade oil, meaning it's difficult to refine. The fact that the infrastructure to refine oil was already tailor-made for the heavy oil refineries, so the best economical choice is to keep the refineries machine since they are very expensive and export the oil to countries that have right grade refineries. In this case, the type of oil that we have been receiving in Kenya is heavy oil, and the machines that Kenya has is for refining heavy oil, not the light oil. So that's the sole reason why oil is being imported. Natural resources have always been a curse to African countries, and we can only wait on how this one will unfold.